name is Emike. So today on Marriage Talks, I'm going to be talking about loneliness in marriage. Marriage is a beautiful gift ordained by God. But these days we see a lot of people who get into marriage and in a short while they don't want to stay married anymore. And a lot of people think that, well, there may be something wrong with the institute of marriage. That's not correct. And because many young people are saying marriage is hitting the rock, they are even getting afraid to get married. If you are a married person and you listen to me, let me let you know that there is nothing wrong with the institute of marriage, but you, the individual in that marriage, you have a responsibility to make it work. And it's a collective responsibility of the husband and the wife. It is not one person's responsibility to make your marriage work. God made marriage perfect and gave it as a gift to people, to human, to his children, and they have a responsibility to make it work. Now let us look at why will couple, after being married for some time, couple who started by promising each other to say, I will never live without you, I will never do without you, I will never be anything without you. Sometimes some husbands and wives going as far as saying, I'm gonna die if it is not you. Then years down the line, they begin to feel that they make a mistake. They begin to say things like, well, I must have married the wrong person. Now, when all of these starting to come into the marriage, there can be the possibility of loneliness in such a way that a husband is at home, the wife is at home, but both of them are apart and they're kind of missing each other, missing the love and affection they get from each other. And it happens in many marriages where you have husbands and wife in the house together and they're feeling and living like strangers. Now the question would be, why would loneliness creep into a marriage when husband and wife they're living together? The first is when there is a lack of communication. Now when a husband and wife start living together, they talk about everything, they know about everything, they ask questions, they are open to each other. But as they grow older together, each person begin to find solace and comfort in other people or other hobbies or at their work. And so they can begin to communicate more with those things and those people than they are communicating with their partner. But it is not supposed to be so. When there is a lack of communication in a marriage, it will not automatically work. On the other side of a lack of it, there can be a breakdown of it. So we've been talking and we've been having an exciting time, everything had been going on smoothly, then something happened, which may be infidelity, which may be a lie, which may be whatever that comes into the marriage to act and asunder. Once it is treated, it should be put behind and the couple can forge on. When unforgiveness gets into a marriage, it can bring about loneliness in marriage, where one partner, the offended partner, even though the other partner has apologized, you keep replaying the issue. You are going to think that the other partner is still going to hurt you. So communication is the life wire of any beautiful marital relationship, and couples must be deliberate in handling it. Another thing that can cause loneliness in marriage is emotional neglect. Now, if you emotionally neglect your spouse is going to run to somewhere else to get that comfort. And even when they don't, they are going to be bitter towards you. And that in itself can cause separation even while both of you are living together. Now, if you leave that emotional duty to someone else, it will ruin the marriage. Part of the reason we get married is to get emotional support, is to get our emotional needs met by our husband and our wife. The way God instituted marriage it is in such a way that it is only your spouse that is supposed to be able to meet your emotional needs. But when you get to a point where someone else is meeting that need, well, you may not want to call it a full-blown infidelity, but it can affect the bliss of the marriage. Another thing that can bring about loneliness in marriage is when a couple begin to grow apart. And this happen a lot. Well, it can be for positive if well handled. What that means is that, well, one partner can get a better job outside of town, outside of the country, outside of the state, and that can make the couple begin to grow apart because they don't see each other every day as it used to be. There are ways that there are ways the couple can introduce to bridge the gap so that the distance in because of where they work will not affect the marriage. Another thing that can bring about loneliness in marriage is unresolved conflict, and this is really very common. When you offend your partner, or when your partner offends you, and there's been an apology, there's been a discussion or a conversation around it, let it go and continue loving. When you don't let it go, you are still going to be seeing your partner in the light of that mistake, in the light of that error, and you will not be able to communicate with them. Now, if your partner is that kind of person who doesn't like to apologize, because sometimes as a marital counselor, I hear things like, well, my wife doesn't see anything wrong in the things she does, and so she doesn't apologize. Or my husband is that kind of man who believes that the man should not apologize. I believe that there are intelligent ways to get on with your partner to make them see that what they have done is wrong. Any partner who is interested in the health of the marriage, I mean in the success and happiness of the marriage, they may not say the word "I am sorry," but they may act it out. Once you get the point that they are acting that they are sorry, please take it instead of looking for a way for them to apologize in the way that you want it. Conflict happens in marriage but must be resolved. Another thing that can bring about loneliness in marriage is stressors, external stressors. In-laws, job, finances, children can bring about loneliness in marriage, especially if a spouse finds himself or herself closer to their sibling, their parent, their family member, instead of focusing on the marriage. For goodness sake, you got married to someone, put all of your interests there and let your family put their own interests somewhere else. You have a family to build now, and you must focus on it. All external family members are also part of the stressors. They can also be financial stressors. Maybe both of you are doing well, then all of a sudden there is this financial pressure. It can make a man withdrawn, a woman withdrawn, and can affect the marriage. Now, two of you must see each other as members of the same team in such a way that when these stressors attack your marital relationship, both of you can stand to defend it together. But if one partner is feeling like, well, I'm the one who have to stand against all of these financial bills or all of these in-laws, it's going to make that person become withdrawn, lonely, and feel that they are in this boat all alone. Now, what can you do as a marital counselor? I believe that there is nothing the Holy Spirit cannot help us to do. So when you are in a marital situation and you find out that you're struggling with loneliness while your husband or your wife is alive and not out of town, the first thing is ask the Holy Spirit for the wisdom on what to do. Now, if the fault is coming from your own angle, be open to the correction of the Holy Spirit, whatever the Holy Spirit is going to whisper into your heart to do. Sometimes your Holy Spirit may be telling you, you need to be more humble, more accommodating. You need to be the one to make the first move. Whatever instructions you get, make the move, and you will see that your marriage will be for the better. And lastly, I believe in the power of prayer to get the best in the marriage. If God instituted this union, this marital relationship, can He not take care of it? Of course He can. So because of that, in your place of prayer, commit your marriage into the hands of God and commit your partner into the hands of God, knowing that just as you are not perfect, they are also not perfect. I'll come your way again next time with more marriage talks. Bye for now.